No, but I don't want to jump it.
Yeah, well, that's why I was trying to see, because that one is ready. That one is ripe, the one on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is nobody to pull them. Yeah, so then the fence has made it in a way that I can't jump it either. Yeah, so that's the guanabano, or the sour sap. Maybe when I come back, I will stop and see if the guy were there. Maybe I could get one, buy one from them, you know?
Yeah.
That's a very special fruit, and it's good for cancer. See, like that one, the spikes are much wider away.
Yeah.
So that one is and when they're young, their spikes is close together. As they get more mature, the spikes separate. They get a little wider. Then it gets that light yellowish color, okay?
The yellow is
Ready to. And then you just pull it, and another day or two, then you have your nice guanabano juice. By the market you could get, okay? So maybe later when we come back, we will go check it out. Fruit that's very good for people with cancer. You boil the leaf, you can eat the fruit. And I'm always trying to see who is looking after this farm, but this farm was planted out by an Amish.
Yeah, that's a white hawk. So beautiful. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Do the first verse. O land of the free by the Carib Sea, our manhood we pledge to thy liberty. Our fathers, the baymen, valiant and bold, drove back the invaders. This heritage hold from proud Rio Hondo to old Sarstoon, through Coral Isles over Blue Lagoon. Keep watch with the angels, the stars and moon. For freedom comes tomorrow's noon. Arise, ye son of the Bayman clan. Put on your armor, clear the land, drive back the tyrants, let despots flee. Land of the free by the Carib Sea. Nature has blessed us with wealth untold, our mountains and valleys where prairies roll. Our father the bayman, valiant and bold, drove back the invaders. This heritage hold from proud Rio Hondo to old Sarstoon, through Coral Isles over Blue Lagoon. Keep watch with the angels, the stars and moon. For freedom comes tomorrow's noon. Arise, ye sons of the Bayman's clan. Put on your armor, let despots flee. Land of the free by the Carib Sea.
Would you like to go caving in a remote mountain cave? Once again, of episode 1, this live feature special for another yet a second season from here, the Sovereign Light Talkshow, and I am your hostess, Reverend Maria Arvanatides, with segment number 3. Enjoy the show. This special Mayan burial ground of Barton Creek Cave, between draping formations of cathedral-like ceilings and narrowing down as we canoe through it. There's no other way of going there. It's so fascinating geologically, featuring this remote mountain cave is one of the largest. Artifacts include pottery, shards, and other human remains, sacred burial grounds, but we also see it as the underworld. Then our very own David Anthony Simpson.
And this cave, I knew about this cave in 1987, even young. But then when I knew about the cave, I had to hike from the main road, from the highway, all the way past the cave, and that's a friend of ours, of my friend's great-grand-uncle, that told us about this beautiful place. That time there was nobody coming out here. This road was actually built by the Amish. You heard about the Amish, right? The Mennonites with horse and buggy. They were the ones living out here. That's why this place is called Upper Barton Creek. And the cave got itself from the creek itself. The name of the cave came from the creek. And the creek was named after a British settler by the name of Alan Barton. So the whole place has a history. In the olden days, whenever someone settled near a river or a creek for a long time, that place got its name from your surname. Like if your surname is Flowers and you live down the Belize River, that area where you're living near the river would be called Flowers Bank. If your surname is Bud, it will be called Bud Bank. Or if your surname was Henderson, it would be called Henderson's Bank. So as you go along the Belize River, there is the different names of the banks, okay? And now this as a creek, this was named after a British settler by the name of Alan Barton. It's a mixture of European slave master and African women, or people of black descent. Those are Creole. So a Garifuna has not mixed with no other culture except his own. They're like the Amish that don't mingle. Yeah, the adventure part of the road. That's why you see, if I have a fancy car, you one last time, especially on the roads.
Okay.
Yeah. This road was actually built by the Amish, the Mennonites, from slavery time. When the British came here, they had a bunch of slaves, and so they would name them after their surname. So it's not a good surname to carry, but it reminds me of the slavery time. Because my mother's surname is Itza, like Lago Petén Itza, like the lake in Flores, Itza. This is Amish community. The Amish actually, they don't paint their houses, they don't make photos, and the reason they say they don't paint their houses is because it looks scandalous. Like you see their house right there, see? That's an Amish house, but he won't put no paint on it. And they make lots of kids. My dad is Creole. He's a mixture of European slave master and African women, or these black women. That's Creole. So a Garifuna is different, totally different from a Creole. There is a little pyramid on top of the hill. If you notice, guys, that's not just a normal hill. That's a little pyramid. And we are not too far from the caves where we will be go canoeing. So the Mayans who were actually buried in this cave were runaways from their royalty. They were hunters and warrior chiefs who were brave enough to challenge the journey to the Underworld. All this here is Amish community, all the clearing. So you can see they cut down a lot of the forest. That's part of what the Amish does. So that's oregano, or some people call it thyme. Now we're coming to the river crossing, or the creek crossing. That's what people say, river. But this is not a river, this is a tributary that joins the river. Right now it's not too high. Usually it gets out of control. You got kind of car back here because otherwise you mess them up. Okay, so sometimes that's what happens. A lot of drop it over there, then you could get across this one.
In your 36-year-old metal car.
The first guy to introduce this cave to the tourism industry.
Oh, wow.
My effort,
When?
that was in 1990.
Wow.
Because in 1987 I knew about the cave. So I did research 3 years. I did geology of the cave, and that is how I learned a lot about the geology. Then in 1990 I introduced this to the tourism industry. And 10 years down the road, the Prime Minister, the previous Prime Minister, made it into what it is, a national park. Because the guy next door, he thought he owned the cave when he bought the land. He said, David, that's my cave, I bought it. The bathroom over there, you guys.
Yes.
The entrance over here, so but we will start down this way and come up, okay? I had a kid, that tree was lower when the kid took my car and drove it and slammed it into that.
Mahogany tree.
That's a mahogany tree. So that you see the tree getting taller, and this tree would be about maybe 30 years old. So the trees that the British took, imagine the trees the British took were 5 meters in diameter. So you could imagine how old that tree must have been, right? If that tree is 30 years old and is that size, so imagine a tree that's 15 feet wide. That's the size of trees that the British took when they came to this part of the world to do logging. And that is why we speak Creole or English, because of the British. And if you notice, our currency has the queen on it, right? Because of the same thing that we are under the... But that's alright, I don't need thank you. As long as they don't go in the cave more than this canoe there.
But now other guides go into the cave?
Oh yes, but they do express. You will see the little lights that they use. They use some little artificial lights there, like, and they put helmet on their head and they make it look like they go spelunking. They look professional and they do express tours.
Like
Quick.
LED light.
So you're Maya.
I am Maya.
Is there a day I had a girl coming to my cave? While inside the cave we will be together, okay? We will be together not only because of the lights, but also that you will hear what I got to tell you, the story about the usage of the cave by the Mayans, and also the geological formation, how the cave happened to be, how beautiful it is. Well, the cave was formed by erosion caused by the same water which we are canoeing on. If you notice, we came across 2 streams. First one, second one. Now this water source comes out of the cave, but he does not originate inside of the cave. This water comes from out of the mountain, into the mountain, through the mountains. In doing that, it brings sand, and sand has made erosion, and that is why if you notice on my right, that smooth surface, that's caused by the same water, especially when the water goes up. So right now the water is not high. Right now it's just a bit murky because of the recent rain. But usually this water is crystal clear, where you could see a pin at the bottom. You could also see the different type of fishes at the bottom. And in the water we have turtles, we have snapping turtles, we have catfish, we have different species of fish. We also have freshwater lobster.
Our lunch, right?
That's right. I like that one. So I like your spirit because you're alive. You're really enjoying what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? The vines you see hanging down from the trees are philodendrons, the indoor plants for... See, it's nicer like this. It's nicer because it's more exciting. And you want to know where is the cave now, right? But if I put you directly in front of the cave, it loses touch. So now we're heading towards the entrance of the cave, but as I said, this is a little... See, it's nicer like this. It's nicer because it's more exciting. And you want to know where is the cave now, right? But if I put you directly in front of the cave, it loses touch. So now we're heading towards the entrance of the cave, but as I said, this is a little in front of the entrance of the cave.
Are we walking it?
No, this is our journey with the canoe.
Oh, okay.
On my right is the very entrance to the cave.
Mm-hmm.
The name, as I mentioned, is named Barton Creek. It was named after the creek, and the creek was named after a British settler by the name of Alan Barton. As you can see, it's pretty much inviting. This is one of the most fascinating caving systems in all of Belize. Out of all the cave mentioned, this cave goes 7 kilometers inside the mountain. And I could tell you it goes 7 kilometers because I've done the full length twice. And I did 3 years of research before I even started taking guests into the cave. That's the monkeys you're hearing right now. Right now you will hear it.
So what year was it historically that Mr. Barton...
Well, that was from the British days when they were doing logging.
Uh-huh.
You can see how tall the ceiling is. As I mentioned, it's one of the biggest cave systems. The ceiling is over 100 meters in height in certain areas. The vines on my left are strangler figs. These vines, they're strangler figs. They start from the top, come down to the bottom where they absorb water, which is their food. So while in the cave, you will find out where water will be dripping from the tip of the stalactite. And that is a sign telling us that this is a living cave. This cave is alive, it's still growing. The only means of coming into the cave is canoeing. And you also have cave swallows. Huh? You also have cave swallows.
Or the fox?
These ones are not like the ones in Australia.
Oh, like, okay.
These ones are different. These ones are much smaller, but yeah, these are much smaller bats.
How deep is it in the water now?
I didn't hear you.
How deep is it in the water?
Oh, the water depends on the level inside of the cave because you have points that is like a little over a meter deep. Some points are 2 meters, some points are like maybe up to 5 meters, depends on where we go. But as we go along, I'm showing you the different, or telling you the different depths.
Okay.
You see like the one you saw earlier, those are cave swallows, but as we go deeper inside, it's going to be more fruit bats.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not big, they're just about that size, but yeah, they're not like the ones in Australia, okay?
The last...
And as you can see how beautiful it is above us and around us. This cave is active, it's still growing. So at some point in time, water will be dripping on you. All you have to do is don't think it's bad poop. It's just calcium carbonate that seeps through the limestone in the process of water. The green is algae from carbon dioxide having contact with the limestone. So if you want to come a little closer with me, and then, because you might not be holding the paddle again, you will definitely be doing the lights. They take a porridge, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. There is a little village just out of San Ignacio named San Antonio where we will be going on the way to the Caracol. And there they have a lot of the traditional food. They have their own restaurant too. But you see what happened is that a lot of it changed because of the Western technology. See, when you guys come, you don't want to eat a Mayan food, you want to eat a burger, right?
No.
Well, not everybody, but majority. Well, that's the best thing. Okay, here we make a little small swing here for you, Bishop. You there? Alright. There you go.
Are we turning around?
No, not yet. You need to see the best part of the cave. This is is the best part of the cave right here.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not here to cheat you your tour, and I'm here to give you a little express tour. That's why we're going this deep. That's I could have done what you guys are doing. This is the best part of the cave right here, but again, it's endangered. See, it's endangered because you could see where a lot of it was broken. See?
Oh, yeah.
Human behavior. This is done by human, but if you ask who broke it, nobody wants to take responsibility.
The human behavior.
Actually broke. Thank you so much. We'll be here. We're just fine right here. Everything that gets hungry. See, we were not allowed to be eating meat, but we made ourselves carnivorous, right? Because if you go back into the biblical way, it says where Adam and Eve, they had everything in the garden to eat. But after what they call the sin, or they ate the apple, then now that's part of why we become carnivorous.
The custard apple, right?
Yeah, well, that's part of what we should have been eating. But it's sad because if Eve was a Chinese woman, we would still be okay because they would eat the snake instead of the apple. Instead of snake, but the problem is she must have been some white girl, eating an apple instead. She must have been a Canadian. Definitely was a Canadian where the apples grow. So that was a forbidden food.
Is there any Maya food here?
Yes.
What is traditional?
Well, they have like a and the one above you, Maria, that's a Mennonite stalactite. See how many little babies you got?
Oh, that's why they call it Mennonite.
Yeah, because it has a bunch of little baby stalactites. Okay.
And I just saw a bat.
You saw a bat?
Yeah.
That's a fruit bat. She won't catch you because you're not a banana. You're not a fruit, you're just a...
Vegetable. I'm just kidding.
You're just a vegetable. Odyssey would have come in the cave, but
Woo!
there is no way you can exit.
Oh man, this is clay.
No, that's not clay, that's iron. It has a little clay on top because of the floods.
But it's iron?
No, the one on top, that's clay from the floods.
Okay.
You see, when the water goes up, it brings that brown material, which is clay with sand. Some of it stays attached to the rock. And so that's mud, we would call it mud. But the mud is mostly clay, because there's a lot of clay from where this material comes from.
And the water looks kind of clean here.
Well, it's not really quite clean. It should be clean in the next couple of weeks, like
Okay.
March, April, May. You could see a pink right down to the bottom. That's when you get to see the lobsters. That's when you get to see the catfish.
And the crocodiles?
They're down the Belize River.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't have crocodiles in this area. The water would be too cold for a crocodile.
Okay.
Yeah, crocodiles love warm water. They don't love where it's cold. And there is not much for them to eat in here. So if you want to see crocodiles, you need a little bit, because it takes a little turn, okay?
Should I hold her up?
Well, but you would have to be holding it on the other end. Just take. Well, it's gonna open up again. Open right back.
Watch your head.
Because all this was flush. See, this is going to open up back again to the main chamber. You can touch the material beside you. You guys, you can touch the material above and beside you. That's
Oh yeah.
a little sponge or something. I don't think so. It's okay.
No.
see what I mean? Yeah. Above Maya and Maria, it's pretty. Bring up your light. Really up on top, see? Yeah, so this bridge is sand rock or sandstone formation. This is sand that was brought in, never pushed out. It became a rock. You can touch it. You can touch it. Okay, come this way. So we will be going slowly in front. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. When you get under this bridge, you will see the difference. The guesswork, they were coming to see if the Mayans came this deep into the cave, but the Mayans were much clever than us at any time, every time, all the time. So if you notice on the bridge, it's very like crystallized. See, it's very silky, and that's on the iron and the calcium that flows over. So this right here is where the water comes down. So in the rainy season, you would come here and you have a little waterfall flowing. As you go under the bridge, you will notice it's totally different than the Mayan bridge altogether. Look at it. See under the bridge with the flash? See, it has some little baby stalactites called dentures. See, all those names I had to learn. I just didn't want to bring you in here and be like the guys who haven't saying anything. Guys, if you notice, they went past us without saying nothing, right? Guys, they don't read, they just pay to come in here, bring the tourists, put on a helmet and a hat. But you see here, this is active. Notice the tip of that way the water is.
Because it's wet, yeah.
Well,
Take a picture.
That's what I'm saying, it's a different formation from the ones you saw earlier. See, the Mayan bridge was impermeable, that was dry.
Keep watching one spot now.
This here, it's different. This one, it's a different material you're looking at right here. Up on top it's pretty, but on the edge, right from this point, their soul was guided throughout this journey in search of the origin of the water, which water meant life. But they had to go through 9 trials, 9, that's why they call it the 9 levels to the underworld, because they had to leave this body to go into that of either a monkey or a jaguar. So as we're leaving the burial site, you notice it's not so easy to even get out and go climbing anymore. It's not even easy to prepare a burial. And let me show you a beautiful place right now. Okay, you guys need to see it right there, see? See that place? See where my light is?
Looks like a Picasso.
Alright, you see that mission?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a natural face. It's not me. That's just a natural face, okay? That is Mother Nature at its best. So as we go deeper inside, you realize that it's not so easy to even get out and go. That's a man-made bridge. If you notice, the bridge is arched. You could see the steps on the right-hand side. How they built the bridge, as you can see, it's not a flat bridge, it's arched.
A little bit.
Well, yes, because they had to make it arched in such a way where, for the Mayans, they brought that material from out of the cave. That is white lime, limestone, sand, clay mixed together, supported by columns and planks. So after the material hardened, they remove the columns and planks, and that's what they're looking at, a man-made bridge. This is the farthest they came into the cave. Where there is this, then that's the problem. The ones with the bumper baskets, only those are the ones who carry away. These ones don't have no control. That's exactly, and that's what they were dying from, but they didn't realize that as well. So they blamed it pottery, and that's a small pottery. Like before,
Can you point in the same direction so I can answer this?
see right there, that's a big one.
So it's called there, don't move mine. If you move the...
Yeah, bring up your leg a little bit, and Maria, to my left. Okay, and that's a big one, that's a medium size. Well, behind that medium sized pottery, there are 7 skeletal remains that lay side by side. They're fossilized into the rock itself because of the same calcium carbonate that's been dripping on them. We show the girls are in charge of the show, right? If they don't make a good show, then you know what, they can be sacrificed. In front where you see my light, see?
What's that?
That black piece of chunk, that's a big chunk of pot. So the big pottery was used where they brought food as an offering to the god of the underworld. See there's the one that's sitting up there?
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's been sitting there because it's just evidence that we're not too far from the Mayan burial.
So wait, and so the stone grows around the pottery over there?
Well, we placed that there. We placed it there. The stone grows around the skeletal remains that were those of the leaders. But apart from that, no, the pottery they were just placed. The medium-sized pottery was where they broke the lid, and that was a symbol of releasing the soul from the flesh. And a small jar was used to collect the water that dripped from the tip of the stalactite.
You said you broke the leg of a dead person?
No, they broke the lid.
A lid?
They had the lid from the cover, from the pottery. In front, just where the 2 rocks face each other, this is the farthest the Mayans came into the cave. If you notice, it's easy to go and climb. It's gonna be looking totally different. And if you notice from that stain from the fruits which the bats eat, actually those holes are caused by bats.
Really? Is it damaging the cave?
No, bats have acidic feet from having contact with their saliva. Whenever they have contact with the iron or the limestone, it dissolves it evenly. In the end, it becomes bat dough. So those what we're looking at. But the red is from the stain which they eat. Over to my right, we have quartz. See, this is a different mineral that can be found inside of the cave as well. All this wall here is quartz. Quartz is very special mineral, especially for those who are doing tiles, who make tiles or polish desktops. So those are expensive material right beside me, see?
I had a quartz kitchen countertop,
All
so
this is beautiful. Where you see my light shaking, there is one that's white, see? That's pure white, this is more red. So that one is more limestone. I think you could see from where my light is right now. Okay, so there are 2 different minerals that make up this cave, or more than 2. And that is why the cave is unique, because of the different minerals that are found inside of the cave. But as we keep coming inside, you realize that it's not so easy to just get out and go climbing, especially if you're bringing a dead body to be laid in here. So the Mayans, they were very clever. They prepared a place suitable enough for them to be able to do their burial rituals. And each Mayan that was buried in here had to be accompanied by 3 pottery. One where they brought food as an offering to the goddess of the underworld, Xibalba. A medium-sized pottery where they broke the lid.
He does. Can you point out?
Right there, see? Looks just
That looks like the beacon eye of a build.
That I'm glad you're using your imagination, because here there's going to be so many figurines, animal figurines, human figurines. Just use your imagination as to what they appear to you. Those are more table rock formations. You see, as long as they come off to once, that's the scientific name given to them, okay? I mean, I could have named them different, but that's because of the research I did, so that's exactly the name given to these, and they're called table. Don't bring up your light, Maria, please, you're blinding the one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't okay, that's not
Okay.
Okay, right beside you, you notice it's a bit pink.
Pink.
Right there, just where you have your light.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Okay.
fresh
Oh,
algae.
Looks like radish.
Well, I'm glad you're using your imagination. That's the beauty about with these lights. They're big enough to cover the whole space of the cave. The one above is my hairstyle, you see?
Yeah, I was actually thinking that.
What did you say?
I actually think your hairstyle is more like this one.
Like this one?
Yeah, more like this one.
Well, okay, alright.
When's the last time you cut your hair?
About 20 odd years ago.
Well,
About 25 years. But
how heavy is it?
it's not heavy.
It's not heavy?
But I've cut off at least about a foot, because I cut off the dead ends, and usually they're like 3. Start to do this scale.
I think they should give you the cake then.
Well, no, it's not for me. It's just that I'm glad that the cave is protected. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that it was done in such a way that you can only come here with a canoe. That looks like where you had been, see? Those look like where you had been, coral.
Yeah.
Remember when you went snorkeling?
Yeah.
That's what the coral garden looked like. So that's exactly like looking at the bottom of the ocean. Well, no, I'm just glad that they put interest to defend this cave, because like the APM, they can't even bring a camera. This one, you just have to know that this is actually prepared a place suitable enough for them to have been able to do their burial ritual. They even built a bridge inside of the cave. We'll come across that as well. If water drips on you, that's a blessing. After 5 drips, you're going to be baptized and you're going to heaven. But in heaven, there is no beer. So you got to drink it down here. You see up above where I'm shining my light? See how beautiful it is at the tip of them? They look like gold nuggets, right? But those are calcite. Calcite is the purest state of the limestone. They accumulate, and that's what makes these stalactites grow. They grow 1 millimeter every 5 to 10 years. To my left, these formations are called table rock. See, they come up the wall, you can notice right there. And notice they are very wet. That's evidence that these formations are growing. And that is why we're not allowed to touch anything. There's going to be a section that you will be able to touch, but these ones that you see coming off the walls are called table rock formation, stalactite. And that's some of the things why, again, you might wonder why it's only with a canoe, because our body produces an oil that's very deadly. Back again, here you go, very good. So you see where even the tip of a couple of them are broken by humans. So that's the reason why you have to be regulated, where the only way you can come is with a canoe. Those were the simple.
Oh, up above. Oh, yeah, okay.
See right there, see them look like chandeliers. These formations grow 1 millimeter every 5 to 10 years. That's how slow a process it takes for it to grow. So if we were to destroy the forest, we would be cutting down the growth of these stalactite and stalagmite, because it's a lot of the calcium carbonate that has filtered through the limestone in the process of water that makes this beautiful formation. And as I said, they grow very, very, very slow. Their growth span is 1 millimeter every 5 to 10 years. And I was thinking maybe they tie your canoe to mine, and then it's gonna be easier so that Misha can just relax and enjoy the beauty of the cave and even make photos. But at the time when the Mayans were using these caves, they didn't have spotlights, okay? Their lighting system was torches which they made from the latex rubber tree. Their means of transportation was raft, which they made from the trumpet tree.
Trumpet?
Yeah, from the trumpet. It's a tree that's very hollow inside, and it could float very easily, even when it's green, so it's easy to make a raft out of it.
Okay.
So the Mayans who were buried in here were actually runaways from their royalty. For the royalty, caves were evil, whereas for the peasants, this was the journey to a new life, where they would come back to this earth, not as a Mayan, but instead they would come as an animal. And they had two sacred animals, the monkey and the jaguar. They were two sacred animals. So the pretty. Up, higher up, there you go. So you guys with the light are in charge of the movie. If you make a mistake, you get sacrificed to Shibalba, the god of the underworld. So you are.
And then can we pick the animal we tune into?
Which one you want to come back to?
Toucan.
Okay. Alright, so Maya wants to come back as a teacher. You guys like it? See how beautiful it is above our heads? Those pointing down are what we call stalactites. When they start going up, stalagmite. But if you notice where my light is right now, see how crystallized? That's calcite. That's the purest state of the limestone. So when you spot your light on it, that's the reflection it gives up. There is more calcite down below. Well, this cave, as I said, goes 7 kilometers inside of the mountain. We will be able to navigate a little over a kilometer, and even up to that distance, we will come across the burial site that the Mayans actually prepared. The cave was used as a burial site where they believed in the journey to the 9 levels of the underworld, the world of reincarnation. Water meant life, and they were going in search of the origin of the water. But for them to go through this process, their soul was guided throughout this passageway by the god of the underworld, Shivalba. Most of the beauty will... You see that nice little palm up there? How he arches from the little palm tree.
Oh.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not
Because
yet.
It's still there.
Oh.
Most of the beauty will be coming from the top to the bottom. The name of the cave, as I said, is Barton Creek, and the cave...
You were saying it's 9 levels.
Well, 9 levels because it takes a person 9 months to make a baby, and if you're coming out of this stage to go into that of an animal, you have to go through 9 stages. But again, we call it 9 levels. The Mayans believed in reincarnation, where water meant life, and for them to have had this opportunity, they had to run away. I forgot one light. Okay, I'm just going to go quick and get my light.
Ah, so you're leaving us in the cave, huh?
No, right now you wait for me, right now. I'll be back. I'm just going to park over there. I'll run to get it. It's going to be quick.
Oh, okay.
That's all right, man.
So the 9 levels to the underworld, you were saying.
Yeah, it's 9 stages that they had to go through.
Uh-huh.
Because the Mayans believed in reincarnation. They believed in coming back to this life, not as a Mayan, but as an animal.
Oh, okay.
Either a monkey or a jaguar. They were two sacred animals. Here we go. And this is more Speedy Gonzales style.
Are we gonna see the monkeys? Are we gonna see monkeys
Well, maybe on the way back, depends, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because sometimes they come quite close.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, Maya and Maria.
You have been watching segment 3 of episode 1, opening feature for season 2, yet another season on here, the Sovereign Light Talk Show. Until next time, this is Reverend Maria Arvanitides. See you on the next segment 4.